Hello! Welcome to Capital Sensei. Today, we will explore the fundamental habits that construct a powerful financial mindset, the kind that truly revolutionizes one's journey toward building wealth. By analyzing the patterns and behaviors of countless successful leaders, legendary investors, and wealth creators, a clear framework emerges. Not of secret formulas, but of disciplined, repeatable habits. If you have questions about your own financial path or a story to share, we encourage you to leave a comment below. Our community thrives on shared knowledge, and we make a point of reading and, whenever possible, responding to all comments. We are about to dissect 8 essential habits that are the bedrock of financial success. We will cover the tactical power of automation, the critical distinction between income and savings rate, the strategic advantage of long-term thinking, and why your early years are your most valuable asset. The single most impactful concept to grasp from the start is this: financial freedom is almost never a product of luck or a massive salary. In the vast majority of cases, it is the deliberate outcome of small, consistent mindset shifts and discipline habits that compound over time into extraordinary results. The first and arguably most potent habit is automation. Automating your investments is a critical step toward achieving financial freedom. In the endeavor of wealth building, consistency is the ultimate driver of success, and automation is the mechanism that ensures you remain on track, even when life becomes demanding and chaotic. The most disciplined investors plan and automate everything. Every single month, without fail, as soon as income enters their accounts, a predetermined portion is automatically funneled directly into their investments. Only after this crucial step is completed is the remainder allocated for expenses. This process leaves no room for hesitation, procrastination, or the temptation to divert investment capital. Relying on manual transfers each month introduces a significant point of failure: human emotion and willpower. One month, you might feel tired. Another month, an unexpected bill provides a convenient excuse to skip. Or you may simply lack the discipline on that particular day. Automation surgically removes emotional bias and decision fatigue from the investment equation. It is a powerful method for compelling your brain to do the right thing without expending mental energy. By setting up automatic transfers from a primary account to a brokerage account or scheduling recurring purchases of mutual funds or government bonds, the act of investing becomes as routine and non-negotiable as a mortgage payment. This simple, tactical adjustment dismantles one of the greatest obstacles to building wealth: our own inherent inconsistency. This leads seamlessly into the second habit: understanding that the crucial metric isn't how much you earn, but how much you save. This is a core principle for achieving what can be called financial escape velocity. Society heavily conditions us to focus on our top-line income: bigger salaries, better paying jobs, more promotions. While increasing income is certainly beneficial, the most critical component of the wealth equation is the percentage of that income you successfully retain and put to work. A person earning $200,000 a year but spending $195,000 is on a slower path to wealth than a person earning $60,000 but consistently saving and investing $20,000. It is essential to ask yourself critical questions. Are you spending money on things you don't truly need? Are you acquiring possessions not for their utility, but to keep up with social pressures? Individuals who build real, sustainable wealth concentrate their energy on internal growth, that allocate their resources, both time and money, to reading, continuous learning, acquiring new skills, building valuable networks, creating income-generating assets, and developing side businesses. The external trapping of wealth is of little concern to them. They have a firm grasp on the difference between being rich, which is often a temporary state of high income and high expenses, and being wealthy, which is a durable state of owning a solid and growing net worth of assets that generate income for you. This connects directly to the third habit: spending less than you earn and diligently managing your lifestyle. The majority of truly wealthy individuals, particularly those with quiet wealth, are unconcerned with the latest designer bags, trendy shoes, or luxury cars. In fact, many legendary stock market investors who have built multi-generational fortunes lead remarkably simple lives. Their lifestyle expenditures have not inflated in lockstep with their income and net worth. There's a well-known story about the veteran investor Ramesh Damani, who, despite a net worth in the hundreds of millions, reportedly continues to drive a modest car, live in the same home, and maintain the same circle of friends he has had for years. This is not to say that wealthy individuals don't enjoy fine experiences or spend money on quality goods and services. The key distinction is their unwavering focus on value over price. Every purchase, whether it's a company's stock or a new vehicle, is evaluated based on its intrinsic value and long-term utility. They weigh the cost of a rapidly depreciating luxury item against the opportunity cost of what that same capital could become if invested in an appreciating asset. Resisting lifestyle inflation, the common tendency to increase spending every time your income rises, is one of the most powerful strategies to accelerate your financial journey. It is a simple concept that is psychologically difficult to execute, but mastering it allows you to save and invest significantly more, drastically speeding up the asset-building process. The fourth habit represents a deep psychological shift, moving from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. The most successful people consistently overestimate the potential upside of an opportunity while prudently managing the downside. They don't remain on the sidelines, paralyzed by fear. They learn to navigate the waves by taking calculated risks. They invest heavily in themselves through education and skill development. They allocate capital to new business ventures, accept challenging job opportunities, pivot their careers when necessary, and critically, they grant themselves permission to fail multiple times. A scarcity mindset is rooted in fear of losing what little you have, which leads to a reluctance to invest, fear of failure, which stifles initiative, and fear of the unknown, which prevents the pursuit of new opportunities. An abundance mindset, in contrast, understands that failure is not a final verdict, but rather invaluable data for future attempts. It perceives a world full of opportunities and recognizes that knowledge and action are the keys to unlocking them. Transitioning from scarcity to abundance is a challenging journey. It demands time and significant inner work to dismantle the limiting beliefs we often internalize from a young age. However, once you unlock this new perspective, your entire approach to risk and opportunity changes. You begin to see potential where you once saw only peril, and you come to realize that the greatest risk of all is inaction. The fifth habit is the discipline of long-term thinking. To understand the power of this, consider a practical example. Imagine a young investor starts a systematic investment plan, contributing just a few $100s per month to a broad market index fund. For the first few years, the results are often underwhelming. The portfolio's value fluctuates, sometimes showing modest gains, other times showing losses. This initial period is where most people lose faith. They are experiencing volatility without the yet visible effects of compounding. The true, explosive power of compound growth only begins to reveal itself after the 5, 7, or 10-year mark. Legendary investors have been known to hold positions in great companies even after the stock price has fallen 40 or 50% from its peak, precisely because their conviction is based on a long-term outlook, not short-term market noise. The majority of market participants, driven by fear, sell at the bottom. Long-term thinking must be actively cultivated. The truly wealthy plan their financial and life decisions with 5, 10, and even 20-year horizons. Compound interest is the most powerful force in finance, but it is a force that requires one non-negotiable ingredient: time. It is like planting a tree. You cannot keep digging it up to check on the roots. You must nurture it and have the patience to let it grow. In investing, time is your most powerful ally, and impatience is your most destructive enemy. The sixth habit is a direct consequence of the fifth: starting early. To secure a financially stable future, the years between ages 25 and 35 represent a golden decade of opportunity for investing. This is typically a period in life where one can afford to take on more risk. Responsibilities may be fewer. Parents may still be healthy and independent. Children may not yet be in the picture, and your potential for skill acquisition and income growth is at its peak. It is imperative to be aggressive with your savings and investment rate during this phase. These 10 years should be intensely focused on building an asset base, minimizing liabilities, exploring entrepreneurial ventures, and putting your money to work for you. This is undoubtedly a challenge, given the rising cost of living and the persistent erosion of purchasing power through inflation. However, missing this critical window means that your 40s and 50s often become a frantic game of catch-up. During that later stage, expenses are typically at their peak, but your investment portfolio has not had the long runway needed to grow proportionately. The mathematical power of starting early is staggering. An individual who starts investing $300 a month at age 25 will, under average market returns, end up with a significantly larger nest egg at retirement than someone who starts at age 35, but invests $600 a month. Even though the second person invests more total capital, they can never reclaim the 10 years of compounding they lost. Time, not timing or amount, is the most critical variable in the wealth equation. The seventh habit is the practice of System 2 thinking, a concept brilliantly explained in the book Thinking Fast and Slow. System 1 is our brain's fast, automatic, intuitive, and emotional mode. When you see a frightening headline about the market and your portfolio drops 20%, the immediate panic and impulse to sell everything is System 1 at work. System 2, conversely, is our analytical, deliberate, and rational mind. It is slow, effortful, and logical. An investor who has trained their System 2 response to that same 20% drop does not react with panic. They engage in a deliberate process. They ask questions. What is the specific cause of this decline? Is it a fundamental problem with the underlying assets? Or is it a broader market overreaction? Have the long-term prospects of my investments genuinely deteriorated? Could this widespread fear be presenting a rare opportunity to acquire quality assets at a discount? Cultivating System 2 thinking is non-negotiable for serious investors. It means systematically overriding your emotional impulses, both fear and greed, and making financial decisions based on reason, evidence, and a coherent strategy. It is a mentally taxing discipline, but it is the ultimate defense against the most common and destructive investment errors. Finally, the eighth habit is to consciously cultivate your relationship with money. The wealthiest and most fulfilled individuals rarely, if ever, chase money for its own sake. Instead, They identify a purpose, pursue that purpose with unwavering passion, and find that money flows to them as a natural byproduct of the value they create. The philosophy of viewing oneself as a trustee or steward of wealth, rather than an owner, fosters a healthy detachment. This perspective allows you to see money for what it truly is, a tool. It is a means to an end, not the end itself. It helps you fulfill your ultimate purpose, whether that is providing for your family, solving a problem in the world, or achieving personal freedom. When you internalize this, the desperate chase for money ceases. That said, it is equally important to acknowledge that money provides freedom. It grants you options. It empowers you to make choices about how you live, where you work, and what you dedicate your life to. It provides the security to make difficult but necessary life changes. In this context, money is critically important. Working on your relationship with it means defining your goals based on your core values, and then using money as a strategic tool to build the life you envision, rather than simply accumulating wealth for the sake of a bigger number. These principles form a roadmap, and I hope they serve you well in structuring your own journey to financial well-being.